recently, or in the past few weeks, for the month of February, I have noticed that we have been talking about love. And we, we are celebrating the gift of love. And for a good reason. Our God is the source of love. And our very existence is founded in the concept of God's great love for us. And so we don't tire, even if we go on and on and on talking about God's love, and we never we never uh, hin- um, we never get tired, or we never run out of things to talk about God's great love. So it is important, like I said, it is important that we are reminded of that, because most of us, many of us, may overlook the magnitude and depth of God's love for us. So our value in the eyes of God is so enormous. We don't even know that. We go day by day, and we forget to thank God for that great love. All the motivation and the very core of God's nature is founded on His great love for us, right? So, for a good reason, we have to talk about that. The entire Bible, from beginning and to the end, God's love is manifested. Just like in the story of Adam and Eve. In their story, they were loved by God. Everything was provided, but yet, because of their greediness, or not disobedience, let's say disobedience, they have fallen. Man has fallen because of their disobedience. But yet, God redeemed us from our fallen nature. So from just that story, we can tell that God's love is great. We can come up of so many words or descriptive words to describe God's love for us. It's enormous. It's immeasurable. It's eternal. It's boundless. It is unfathomable. It's indescribable, incomparable. Like, God's great love for us is so much that even our human understanding, it surpasses human understanding and logic. And like I said, from the beginning to end, there's a lot of stories, a lot of scriptures that show us of God's great love, right? And what I'm going to talk about right now is the story of Jonah. The story of Jonah, most of us are aware of the story of Jonah, right? We learned it from when we were kids. And it says that Jonah was one of the minor prophets of the Old Testament. And he was serving the Lord. But at one point, God called Jonah to preach to a city called Nineveh. The people of Nineveh it's a place where people are living a life of wickedness and violence. So Jonah was commanded by God to go to that city to carry out God's plan, right? But what did he do? he tried to flee from that duty. He tried to escape. He went and this place called Joppa, right? He went there and then he tried to go as far as he could away from the duty that God has called him. And because of that, that's a disobedience to the Lord. And so on his journey, God sent a big storm, right? So it rocked the whole ship, and then the people inside, the sailors that he was sailing with, they were terrified. They were terrified, and so they were calling to their different gods and whatever. And they found Jonah. If you're aware of the story, they found Jonah in the, like he was sleeping. He was like unmindful and everything. But probably that's his way of coping with what he has done, that he was so disobedient to God. But he knew that the storm was sent purposely to shake him. He was aware, he had an awareness, right? So when they found out that that Jonah was trying to stay away or flee from God, the sailors realized that he was the reason why God sent them the storm. So they sent him overboard, right? And so Jonah was swallowed by a big fish. And while he was in the fish, inside the stomach of the fish, he had a realization of what he has done. He was already going to die. And so he called out to God, he repented, and God called him again to go to that city. And so the story goes, he went, and finally the mission was accomplished. The city of Nineveh turned, and they realized their wickedness, and so they had a change of heart. So city of Nineveh was saved from destruction because God has already warned that this city will be destroyed if they don't turn from their wickedness. So in this story, we know that Jonah has disobeyed, right? And it tells, but yet, the impending death of Jonah from being swallowed by the fish shows God's great love. That even if we do not listen sometimes, and we are all guilty of that, we may be disobedient at times, and especially when God calls you to do something and you don't do it, that there could be repercussions for that. So God, because of his great love, forgiving love, his compassion, he saved Jonah from death. He saved also the city in Nineveh. So the lesson that I get from this is that no matter how wayward we could be, we are not out of reach of God's compassion. No matter who we are, no matter what we have done, no matter how rebellious we could be, no matter how defiant we could be, as we have seen in these circumstances, God's love is enormous. His love is relentless. You and I'm sure we have offended God. We come back again, and then we do it all over again, and we come back again. But it's so reassuring that God's love is so deep and so enormous. Like I said, And we are so privileged. We have to be reminded of that, of how great God's love is. And it says in the Bible, uh, what is man that God is so mindful of? He owns the universe. He owns everything. He doesn't need us, but yet his actions, his motivations is centered his towards us. His love is so profound. And God's love is so profound that it is multifaceted. It is manifested in love through compassion, through patience, through forgiveness and mercy. And so that's just what I want to share with you. Um, like as we celebrate love, we may not forget that God's love is so deep. Well, I know, like I have said, it's inexplicable. It's unimaginable. We don't understand. We don't understand. But through the Holy Spirit, somehow we will know that God's love is so great. I cannot even describe it. I just think, oh, it's great. And the verse that I have chosen for today uh, that shows God's love is found in Romans 38 and 39. It reminds us that nothing, absolutely nothing, can separate us from God's love. Neither death, nor life, nor height or depth, nor any powers, no demon or the angels, nor any circumstances of the future, of our words for the future, or of the present, can ever separate us from the love of God. So that's very reassuring. No matter what circumstances we go through, we should remember that God is relentless in his pursuit of us. He always tries, imagine, his thought is always about us, for our own good, for our future. Remember in Jeremiah 29:11 ba yun? I know the plans I have for you. It's not to harm you, but to prosper you and give you future. So let us always, for the month of February, as we celebrate the month of love, may we carry that thought everywhere we go, in whatever circumstances. May we achieve success, or we may fail, or we may be happy, or we are burdened, we are challenged. Whatever circumstances, may we always remember that nothing can separate us from the love of God. Thank you.